to my art channel. Without further ado, let's get drawing.
Hi, welcome back to my art channel. For today's landscape, we're going to be creating this nighttime desert kind of like Utah landscape effect. We're going to be using only the free brushes which come with the Procreate app, and we're going to be using the different tools that we have here under our magic wand. We're going to be playing with the color balance and the hue, saturation, and brightness. We're going to be using the air brushes, the light brushes, the bloom effect, and of course our most trustworthy studio pen. So to begin with, we're going to need to open up our canvas, and I'm going to do that on the screen size. I'm going to go ahead and choose from my inking brush set my studio pen. Now to begin with, you're going to need to choose your color scheme. I'm going to be doing this in reds and oranges, which we will then change at the very end. So to begin with, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with our very back layer of sand dunes and so forth that we're going to be drawing. So I'm going to go to a kind of pinkish color, and I'm going to choose a light pink, and just here I'm just going to turn the size down first. I'm just going to draw a kind of wiggly line like so, and then I'm going to drag and drop. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose a darker color, and I'm going to draw my next layer. Now for this layer, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to create some kind of hilly sand dune effects here like this, and then I'm going to drag and drop again. Okay, now to my next layer. I'm going to choose an even darker color, and this time I'm going to do the same but in a bigger size, because each layer obviously is closer to me. And then I'm going to add another layer and choose a darker color, and then I'm just going to do the same here, and then I'm going to add another layer, and in the same dark color, maybe slightly darker, I'm just going to do this. So you now have 1, 2, 3, you have 5 different layers which we're going to be working on individually. Okay, now I'm just going to add a new layer, and I'm going to bring it all the way to the bottom, and I'm just going to go to my red colors, and I'm going to drag and drop a deep red color, and then I'm going to add a new layer on top of this, and I'm going to use a yellow, and I'm just going to draw a circle. And if you want to get an exact circle, make sure that you, when you create your circle, you can either tap on the screen, or you can go ahead and just hold it down so that you can create the perfect circle. Okay, now this I'm going to bring way down behind these layers. And I'm just going to size it so it looks something like this. I'm going to duplicate this layer 4 times. And on the bottom layer, I'm going to make sure I'm on the bottom layer. And I'm just going to choose an orange color, and I'm going to drag and drop. Then I'm going to go to my next layer, and I'm going to choose a deeper orange, and I'm going to drag and drop. And then on my third layer, I'm going to go towards my red, and I'm going to drag and drop, and then on the very last layer I'm going to choose a very deep red. Okay, and now we are going to resize all of these, and then we're going to blend them and merge them to make the sunset effect that we want at the back. So to begin with, we're just going to resize this one. And then we are going to resize the next one. I'm just going to bring this on top, like so. And then my other orange one. And I'm going to bring this one to the top. And then my yellow one will be here like this. Okay, now I'm just going to merge, not the yellow. I'm going to combine these three together. And I'm just going to go ahead to my blur, my Gaussian blur. And I'm just going to blur so that I have something like this. And I'm going to do the same for the yellow one. I'm just going to blur it very slightly. And then in between the two, I'm going to go to my luminance brushes. I'm going to go to my light pen. And in a yellow, just going to outline the sun. You can play about with the light brushes, they're very cool. You can go to bloom, click on layer and just bloom your sun, and then go back to this layer and go to bloom again. And you can really bloom your sunset, and again to this back layer. And then on this one, this layer where the light brush is, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to blend it in slightly. And then this layer, I'm just going to duplicate. And I'm going to blur. I'm going to bring it underneath this layer. And you can also play about with the transparency of the sun until you get the effect that you want for your sunset. And then that's going to be the basic sunset, which we will again change and play about with at the very end. Now we are going to go back to our very front layer, and we're going to go back to our studio pen, and we're just going to pick the color of this layer, and here we're just going to go ahead and draw some cactus like plants. And we're just going to drag and drop our color. We're going to go to this layer and we're going to pick again the color, and this time we're going to do the same, but we're just going to do them in a smaller size. And then we are going to go to this dark pink layer here, and we're going to choose the same color, and again, as you can see, we're going to be drawing the same cactus silhouettes, but again just in a smaller size. Okay, now we are going to go to our very back layer, and we're going to turn Alpha Lock on, and we're going to go to our spray paint brush. We're going to choose the medium nozzle, and in a yellow color we're just going to highlight the tops of the dunes, and you can also in a darker red add a shadow. And then we're going to go to our next layer, And we're going to turn Alpha Lock on, and again in a yellow, we're just going to bring the highlights down. You can zoom in so that you can get the placement perfect. And then just make sure that you then go over very slightly in white. This will give it that extra shine when we do the very last step of this tutorial. And again, you can choose a darker color for the shadows. And then we're going to do the same on our next layer. We're going to turn Alpha Lock on, and we're just going to create some shadows and some highlights. And just play about with the brushes and the textures, and you can even add some details onto your cactus. You know, just really play about with it and have fun with it. And then we're going to go to our next layer, turn Alpha Lock on, and we're going to do the same here. We're going to choose a yellow for our highlights, and our highlights we're doing for the parts which are facing what's left of the sun. And the shadows we are doing on the inside. Whichever colour scheme you go for, just make sure that you use a dark colour again for your a dark colour for your shadows and a light colour for your highlights. It's really important. Okay, and you'll have something which will then look like this. We're now going to go back to our sky, and we're just going to go to our light pen, and we're going to add some stars all over. You can do these in white or yellow, whichever colour that you feel like. I'm going to add a shooting star. Just going to do a stroke like this. Okay, and then we are going to now merge all of our layers together, and then we're going to use the other cool features that Procreate offers. So you can do this manually, or you can swipe them all together. Go to your magic wand, click on bloom and layer, and then just bloom your drawing until you get to the right kind of lightness that you want. Then we're going to go to hue, saturation and brightness, and this is where you can play about with the colors of your drawing. You can create some very cool color effects. You can really create nighttime and daytime effects. And then when you have the final kind of piece that you're looking for with the right amount of light and darkness, then you're finished and you're ready to go. Don't forget to tag me with all your cool artwork that you actually produce from these tutorials. Love to see what you have, and I will catch you all in the next video.
Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because it really helps me in creating more free videos for all of you out there. So if you want to come and join my Procreate group, the links are in the description. I'd love for you to be a member of my group. We can share awesome ideas, tips and artwork. Also, please don't forget to tag me on Instagram so that I can see what work you've created from this awesome tutorial. So love to you all, and I'll see you in the next video.